Hello, everyone, and I have not done this in a very long time, but I'm about to bring back I always call them horrible predictions because I usually get them wrong, but we're going back to a prediction show, and this prediction show is going to be for the 2017 Royal Rumble. We're going to go ahead and just start off with all the kickoff matches or the pre-show matches or whatever you really want to call it. They got a 2-hour pre-show going on again, so they've got 3 matches on that pre-show, and then they've got a 4-hour show. So guess what, people? If you're watching the entire thing, you're watching 6 hours. Again, on that one. But let's go ahead and start with the first one. We get the 6-woman tag. This was just made on Tuesday night with Becky Lynch, Nikki Bella, and Naomi going up against Mickie James, Alexa Bliss, and Natalya. To be honest with you, I feel like this is the one that the heel teams go over. The heel team just feels like they go over here. Mickie James is just coming back into the company. She hasn't had a match yet. You kind of get the feeling that would be the case of where they're going. I know Naomi just came back from injury, so you can play that ball in there for the face team. But I feel like having Mickie James coming back and having her first match, more than likely the heel team is going to win here, and so I'm going with the heel team in this case, and hopefully they use this aspect to set up something different, or set up something here in the very near future with Elimination Chamber coming up in a couple weeks as well. So you have something to set up for with that. And this is the weird thing. I'll go off and say it. There's not many SmackDown matches on this card. Like, the Royal Rumble event, as I'm looking over at my notes over here, there's a lot of Raw matches. The only matches that SmackDown has is that 6-woman tag that's on the pre-show now, AJ Styles and John Cena, and any of the people that are in the Royal Rumble match itself. So this seems like to be a very Raw heavy, pay-per-view at this point in time. So up next for the kickoff show, Cesaro and Sheamus going up against Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. They do have this little caveat of there's going to be 2 referees assigned to the match, I guess, to watch over everybody at all times or something in that sense. They kind of played that off on Monday again. In this case, you can go either way with this one, but I don't feel like they're going to be changing the tag team titles on the pre-show itself. And now you can kind of make it definitive of like where they place it on the pre-show is when they're going to actually whether or not they're going to actually change those titles, like later in the pre-show. Yeah, there's a chance because most of the fans should be in there and everything in that sense, but if they do it early on in the pre-show, I feel Cesaro and Sheamus is going over in this case. And you can play the whole aspect of tension between Cesaro and Sheamus more during the Rumble match than you would need to do so here in this particular tag team title match. I do feel like the club, Gallows and Anderson, are going to be the next tag team champions. I don't think they're going to have it done on Royal Rumble pre-show. At least that's just my own opinion to it. I just don't feel like I see them changing the title on the pre-show. Though, for reference, the last time they did change the title on the pre-show, I think had Cesaro in it. Him winning the U.S. title against Santino Marella. And I think that was 2011? It was either 2011 or 2012. I forget which one. It was 2012's. At least I feel like it was 2012's. On to the next match, though. Last pre-show match, Sasha Banks going up against Nia Jax. You know what? I feel here, if they want to continue on this feud further along, I feel like they have Nia Jax going over here in this match. Mainly on the aspect of, I don't see this feud ending after one match, though, so you don't necessarily want the babyface to get the win at that point in time. Sasha did get one over on Nia Jax going into the pay-per-view itself on Monday night. And I just feel like they're gonna try to put Nia Jax over as a full-on legitimate threat, and this would be a good way of doing it by having her go over Sasha Banks, even on a kickoff show match, it would do more for Nia Jax at that point in time than it would for Sasha Banks in any way, shape, or form. So I feel sorry, gotta clear my throat a little bit. So I just feel like Nia Jax going over in this match. So this leads into the main show, or the main card of the show. And I'm going to go ahead and start off with the Cruiserweight title match. I feel like this one's kind of a given. I feel like it's a given, and I'm going with Neville on this one. It's not an aspect that I don't feel, I don't like Rich Swann or anything like that. I actually like Rich Swann's character. I like the aspects about him, but I don't feel like he's getting over with the crowd as much as they want. And Neville kind of has that momentum going for him at this point. He's been getting over as a heel. He's been doing great promos and everything in that sense. He's been doing a lot more going into this particular match. And we have seen at least a new fiery side of Rich Swann because of what Neville's been doing. But I just feel Neville goes over, he's going to start his reign with the Cruiserweight title and try to build up that division and build up the prestige of the belt as well. So I feel like this is one of those matches, like, it's pretty obvious. Though a good chunk of the show, the rest of the show doesn't feel so obvious in that sense. But I feel like in this match, it's kind of obvious. I feel like they're going to put Neville over, so I'm going with Neville. Up next, Charlotte Flair versus Bayley. Again, I feel like this is a point in time that they're going to ride this undefeated one-on-one pay-per-view streak for Charlotte all the way to WrestleMania. And as much as I think some people want Bayley to win it, I don't think that it's ready. The character's not ready to win the title. She needs more adversity within everything to tell the story for Bayley in terms of winning the title and everything in that sense. So I feel like she comes up short here, and it'll be Charlotte Flair going over in this particular match. Up next is Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns. You have the Shark Cage with Chris Jericho up there. You have it being no disqualification now. You know, I really don't know where this match is going to go. They can use this match as the catalyst to Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho breaking up by having Jericho have a miscue or something like that while he's up in the Shark Cage. They can put Kevin Owens over in this particular match as well. I just feel like, I don't know. It's hard to say because at this point in time, going into the Rumble, you have a general clue of what their plan for WrestleMania is, and you can't really necessarily tell where that plan is going at this point. Some has it with Roman Reigns having the Universal title going into WrestleMania. Some have it being Kevin Owens. Some have it being completely thrown to different directions between these two. In some way, shape, or form, that neither one of them will have the title going into WrestleMania. So, in this aspect, I'm actually going to go with Roman Reigns. I feel like they're going to have him go into Mania with the title, and he either loses, or, I mean, there's still a chance he could lose it beforehand, too. They've done that before. I don't know they would use him as a transitional champion, but I'm going to go with Roman Reigns on this one because I feel like they're going to make this be a this match be a catalyst for the true breakup between Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho, which they've kind of been teasing for a good chunk of time now. So, yeah, I'm going with Roman Reigns on this one. And that does throw out one that I was thinking who might win the Rumble match a little bit later. I at this point in time, I don't feel like they're going to put Jericho over in the Rumble match. Again, that's another one. That's another hard one to pick at this point. They actually got this set up very well to where it's actually hard to pick the winner of the Royal Rumble match. But before I decide to pick that one and just throw a name out there, I guess, at that point, up next is AJ Styles versus John Cena. You know, the way they booked Cena on Tuesday makes me feel like he's not going over. I don't think they're going to put AJ over clean again. They did it at SummerSlam. They did do that at SummerSlam, but I don't think they do it again here. There's going to be some kind of run-in. But I also feel like the way that they booked Cena, being a little bit more like overconfident and everything in that sense, going into the match, makes me feel like Cena's not going over. So I'm going with AJ Styles. AJ Styles keeps the WWE title on the Royal Rumble show. And like I said, it was just the way that they booked Cena on Tuesday just makes me feel like they're going to put over AJ Styles, whether it be via run-in or him just, going over clean again, which would be interesting in themselves, that they would have him go over clean again over Cena in some way. I feel like if anything, if they're going to put Cena in the WWE title match at WrestleMania, that's where they're going to have him tie the record. Now, they could do the aspect of him tying the record, though they've downplayed that this entire time. And that's another reason why I think Cena might not win, because he downplayed the whole aspect of potentially tying Ric Flair's record to go along with it. They completely downplayed it going into this particular match, which makes you feel like they're saving that for a later time, such as WrestleMania, or maybe Elimination Chamber in a couple weeks. Who knows where they're going? Who knows where they're going to go with it at that point? But I feel the way that they booked this, especially the way they booked it going into Tuesday, that AJ Styles is the one that's going to go over in the match in some way, shape, or form. Whether he wins it by winning cleanly, or if he wins it by someone running in, or something in that sense. I feel like AJ Styles is going over. So, obviously, I'm going with AJ in this case. Now, this leads to the Royal Rumble match. Man, I think this is a first. The way that they pitched WrestleMania this year, like I said, a lot of times going into the Rumble, you kind of know their WrestleMania plan going into it. This year, not so much. Like, the only lock match I feel like going into WrestleMania right now is Kevin Owens versus Chris Jericho. Like, there's even a chance that Lesnar and Goldberg might have their blow-off match at a different time, which would be either maybe Fastlane or even after WrestleMania at that point. It's one of those spots that they could still do Lesnar, Goldberg, and all that on there at WrestleMania. There could be a ton of different areas that they go with. You know what? The guy I'm going to go with to win the Royal Rumble. Now think about this. Potential winners: Lesnar, Goldberg, Undertaker, Braun Strowman are there. The way that they booked Sami Zayn on Monday makes you like he had to fight his way in, had this great match with Seth Rollins. Makes you feel like they could put him over, but I feel like they're going to put him as number one. He's going to become the Iron Man this year in that case, so I'm putting him out of the aspect. The aspect that I'm picking Reigns to go over Kevin Owens and win the Universal title, I've got to throw Chris Jericho out of that potential of him winning the Royal Rumble match, because they have at least the U.S. title to fight over at that point in time. Who else? Either Randy Orton or Bray Wyatt could potentially win it as well. They've got it set up to where a lot of people can potentially win this match this year, and they've left it as harder to predict than what most people would lead to believe. So I'm just going to throw a name out there, especially with the guys I've been saying. And I am going to go with... the betting odds right now. And I think at the time of this, the betting odds have it be Randy Orton at this point in time. So I'm going to say Randy Orton. Only on an aspect that there is a heavy rumor that the way that they're going to get into WrestleMania is have Bray with the title, and he has to go up against Orton to at WrestleMania for the title itself. Now, like I said, there's many different other ways that they can go with this. I think Orton's going to end out winning in the end. That's kind of my aspect of it. The way that they've kind of been pitching things and what I've been reading that could be going, it kind of leads towards Orton, but they could easily make it any of those Raw guys. They could easily make it Undertaker, Lesnar, Goldberg, Braun Strowman winning the match. And like if my prediction is wrong about Roman Reigns not going over and Kevin Owens wins, that throws Jericho right back into the mix in there. They've left this Rumble very wide open. So my prediction on it is going to be Randy Orton, but there is a lot of different ways that this can go in some way, shape, or form. So yeah. That's basically my entire predictions for the entire show, for the Royal Rumble show. I hope you guys enjoy the Rumble. I will be doing live stream reactions on the channel for Sunday night. This is being taped like right before NXT TakeOver at this point. I'm not going to be live reacting to that, but I will be reviewing the show when it's done tonight as well. So expect that to go up on this channel to go along with it. So again, I hope you guys enjoy everything. If you want to watch live reactions, obviously join in on this channel tomorrow for Royal Rumble live reactions. If you don't, that's fine too, in any way. But most importantly, though, if you are watching the Rumble in any way, shape, or form, enjoy the show. I hope you guys will. I'm gonna hopefully I will be doing it. The actual Rumble event I'm actually amped up for it, and I can't wait for it to happen and see if everything comes off well. I mean, you got a bunch of potential really good matches on the show, and of course the Royal Rumble match itself, and we'll see how everything ends up playing out. So yeah, guys, that's the my horrible prediction show for the Royal Rumble. I thank you guys for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.